And Brad in Elk Grove Village, Illinois. You are on the air with Congressman Pocan.
Hi, Congressman Pocan. My question deals with, do you think Scott Pruitt is on a mission to destroy the EPA and render it inoperable by doing all of these illegal, semi-illegal, unprofessional things so that the EPA is, legislated out of existence? It just seems to me like, if you have so many investigations, then you throw up your hands and say, we can't do this job because, we're doing all of these investigations.
Brad, I wish that he were clever enough to have some master strategy to that what he's really doing is trying to destroy the EPA from his what appear to be inept actions. Unfortunately, I think they're just inept actions, and that he is someone who is governing with an arrogance that we don't normally see on such a regular basis. Him just trying to explain why he thought it was okay for his staff to try to enforce a contact between the Chick-fil-A people and his wife was that he just loves Chick-fil-A. That's ridiculous. Like, how could anyone honestly believe that that is part of a government's staff position, is to try to hook things like that up? So I think he's just an extremely arrogant, in some ways incompetent leader. And in fact, I would argue because of all of these controversies, he is having a somewhat more difficult time doing things that might destroy some of the areas that he would like to destroy on behalf of polluters in the oil industry and others. So, I just personally, I feel like this guy is on his final days, or maybe months is a better way of putting it, because you can't screw up this often and at some point not get a reaction. And I was watching Republican members as I did my amendment going through all of his scandals, and you look at their faces and they know that this is embarrassing as well.
Yeah, and perhaps even criminal. Kathy in Purcellville, Virginia, you're on the air with Congressman Mark Pocan.
Oh, I'm so happy to talk to you, and thank you, Tom. Your show is awesome, and Congressman, I love you. I can't believe, on Trump, on this emolument clause, that, now he's saying, oh, Kim Jong-il, I'm going to have him at Mar-a-Lago, and look at the money he's going to rake in. The Secret Service have to pay for the golf carts. When does this stop? I mean,
I hear you. So I think the frustration we all have is we see many things that he's doing that are certainly unique to anyone who's had the office of presidency, and we think in many cases, like the emoluments clause, are illegal. The problem is this is a Congress that has been almost exclusively complicit with his actions. I mean, the fact that Paul Ryan this week said Trey Gowdy was right when he said it wasn't putting spies into his campaign from the FBI, that's a normal occurrence, was one of those rare, twice a day a broken clock is correct moments when Paul Ryan stood up and did the right thing rather than simply letting Trump be Trump, which has been really dangerous. So, on the emoluments clause, there's so many things. Mar-a-Lago alone, most of the things they've been doing enrich the people who are members of Mar-a-Lago. I think this White House, I actually think he was surprised when he got elected. I don't think he planned on getting elected. And now he's doing everything he can to enrich himself and his family and his cronies as quickly as possible, given all the things that are impending on him. And I think that's why we're seeing them at such a fast and furious rate. But it certainly is a dishonor to the office that he has.
Yeah, it's amazing to think that in the 1920s, the Teapot Dome scandal during, I think it was the Coolidge administration, the Secretary of the Navy leased a gas reserve to a company that basically paid him a bribe. And that nearly brought down the administration. It was a nationwide scandal. It reverberated worldwide. And that looks so quaint, in retrospect. It's just extraordinary. Tony in Fort Worth, Texas, you're on the air with Congressman Pocan.
Good afternoon, Tom, Congressman Pocan. My question is about gun control. I understand the legislation that you're trying to push through for better background checks and everything, but Do you have any legislation or any plans to introduce any legislation to deal with or handle the legal guns that are being stolen?
Honestly, there are a lot of pieces of legislation introduced around guns. And, since there are 6,000 bills right now in Congress, I'm not an expert on every single bill. I can tell you the major legislation that we've been moving and trying to do discharge petitions on, again, to try to force a vote, are around background checks and closing some of the loopholes around gun shows and Craigslist and things like that. Certainly, we've also been talking about, a number of other measures, including some of us have been very aggressive on, bans on assault weapons and other things. I could guess there may be some legislation out there. I just don't know offhand because there are a lot of pieces. Again, this is not a Congress that's going to let these likely move, any of them, even ones with 85% public support, because they're in the pockets of their affiliate, the NRA, which is gun manufacturers, not gun owners. Don't ever compare NRA to gun owners. It's about gun manufacturers. So, anything that would happen would most likely happen should the Democrats take the majority in the House and or the Senate.
Congressman Mark Pocan is with us for the hour. It's Middays with Mark Thursday edition. We are live here on Thursday. Congressman Pocan taking your calls. Yesterday he had a Appropriations Committee meeting, as I recall?
Yeah.
There we go. And so we'll be back with more of your calls for Congressman Pocan. You can reach him. His website is pocan.house.gov, and his Twitter handle is rep, as in representative, REP, rep.